There comes a moment in every journey where the tide turns, not on the outside but within. It is not marked by fireworks or fanfare, but by a subtle shift of consciousness. The signs may be invisible to others, but unmistakable to you. You feel it, you know it. You are not hoping anymore, you are knowing. Your world has not yet changed, but your reaction to it has. And that is the sign, that is the whisper of victory. You no longer seek proof because you have seen the proof in imagination. You are not trying to get there, you are dwelling in the end. You walk with the weightless confidence of one who already possesses what they once pursued. It is not arrogance, it is awareness. You understand that what you imagine with feeling becomes fact, and because you have seen the end clearly, lovingly, it must come to pass. You stop chasing, you stop pleading, you stop asking the world to give you what you've already claimed. Why knock on the door of a house you already live in? Now the signs increase, numbers repeat. People mention the very thing you've imagined. Time folds, events collide. The world begins to echo your assumption. But the greatest sign is this: you feel peace without a reason, joy without a cause, gratitude without the gift in hand. That is creation, that is how you win. Do not be swayed by delay. Delay is not denial, it is the shadow of fulfillment preparing to take form. Let patience be your proof. The longer you hold the vision, the louder the universe responds. This is not fantasy, it is law. You have stepped into the version of yourself who already holds the desire. That is why the old you seems foreign. That is why old habits feel heavy, because they no longer belong to the version of you that wins. And you are about to win big, not by chance, not by effort, but by faith in the unseen, faith in the real, the imaginal. You did not beg for it, you believed it, you felt it. And that is the greatest power there is. So, let the signs multiply. Let the world marvel. But know, the victory was won the moment you imagined it and believed. Now, let it come. When you close your eyes and retreat into the sacred silence within, you may notice something strange beginning to unfold. The world around you, once so stubborn and fixed, begins to respond differently. Not through effort, not through toil, but through a subtle, almost imperceptible shift in tone. What changed? Not the world, not the people, not the system. What changed was you. Your inner conviction became stronger than your doubt. Your inner knowing became louder than your senses. And when that happens, the outer world has no choice but to reflect the truth of your inner reality. It is not magic, it is not manipulation, it is law. What you accept as true within you must express itself without you. And this truth cannot be grasped intellectually alone, it must be felt. It must become a living experience within you. The moment you feel the quiet assurance of it is done, without needing proof, you have entered the realm of true creation. You are no longer asking, you are not hoping. You are dwelling in the end. When this inner conviction takes root, everything around you begins to move in harmony with it. People change, opportunities emerge, circumstances bend. Why? Because consciousness is the only reality. You do not have to fight against the world. You have to feel from the place where the world has already responded. You see, it's not about changing the mirror. It's about changing what stands before it. Your reflection is only ever echoing who you are being on the inside. Think of a time when you knew something deeply. even though there was no proof. Perhaps you felt certain a job would be yours, that a person would call, that a door would open, and you waited, not with anxiety, but with peace. That peace was not passive, it was power. And soon enough, your outer world delivered exactly what your inner world had already accepted. But this inner knowing cannot be forced. It arises when you have truly surrendered to the end you desire. When you have let go of how and when and rested in the assumption that it is already so. This is not wishful thinking, it is embodiment. You become the one who already has it, and from that state all things flow. Sometimes the world still looks unchanged, even when you've shifted within. But don't be fooled. The seed planted in the soil does not sprout the moment after planting. It rests, unseen, gathering strength below the surface. So too do your assumptions take root before they bloom into form. Your job is not to dig up the seed in doubt, but to continue living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So if today you feel an unshakable stillness in your heart, if you sense that calm assurance, despite no visible sign, pay attention. That is not nothing. That is not emptiness. That is the confirmation. The world has already begun to yield to your knowing. Now let it unfold. Let it rise. Let it become flesh. Because what you believe in the silence, the world must echo in sound. When you truly awaken to the truth of your creative power, something remarkable begins to happen. You stop chasing. The frantic energy that once drove you to force, to beg, to overthink begins to dissolve. You realize that nothing you desire is outside of you. You do not have to run after it, because it was never running from you. You were only running from your own belief that you didn't already have it. Taste implies distance. It implies lack. It suggests that what you want is over there, and you must exhaust yourself to get to it. But this is not how creation works. True manifestation is not born from effort, but from alignment. The moment you stop striving and start embodying the version of yourself who already has what you seek, the chase ends and attraction begins. You begin to understand that your imagination is not just fantasy. It is the womb of all things. What you persistently dwell upon in consciousness, with feeling and belief, must express itself in form. So you no longer beg for the outcome, you assume the outcome. You no longer plead for change. This shift is not passive, it is powerful. To let go is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the silent knowing that what you have assumed in imagination is already unfolding in time. There is no need to monitor, to manipulate, to obsess. You don't check the soil every hour after planting a seed. You trust the process. You water it with faith and tend to it with patience. So it is with your desire. And something beautiful happens when you stop chasing. Your energy shifts. You become magnetic. People feel it. Circumstances arrange themselves without effort. That which once felt out of reach now begins to move toward you. Not because you chased it, but because you finally became a vibrational match to it. The law of consciousness does not respond to need, it responds to being. You do not get what you want, you get what you are. The truth is, the more you release your grip, the faster it arrives. Not because you gave up, but because you gave in to the end. You surrendered to the outcome you already accepted in imagination. You trusted that unseen forces were moving on your behalf. And they are. So now you sit in peace. You walk in confidence. You speak as one who already possesses the thing once longed for. This is not delusion, it is creation. You are no longer the seeker, you are the source. What you once chased now arrives gently with grace, not by pursuit, but by permission. And the world, sensing your stillness, responds, not because you demanded it, but because you no longer needed it to validate what you already knew. You stopped chasing, and in doing so you became the one who always had it. There comes a moment on your path when the veil begins to thin and the invisible becomes felt through the visible. You start to notice the odd timing of events, the repetition of numbers, the sudden mention of a topic you were just thinking about. A stranger speaks words that answer a silent question. A friend calls just as you were picturing them. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. The outer world begins to echo your inner world with startling precision. This is not fantasy, nor is it superstition, it is law. Your consciousness, when it is focused and sustained with feeling, begins to impress itself upon the field of experience. And the universe, obedient and intimate, begins to reflect that impression through symbols, patterns, and alignments that defy logic, but feel undeniably personal. At first, these synchronicities seem strange, even laughable. You dismiss them. You think, that's weird. But then they repeat. You glance at the clock at the same time every day. You keep seeing the same number on license plates, receipts, billboards. Songs play at the right moment. Conversations mirror your private thoughts. You begin to feel watched. Not in fear, but in wonder. It is as if life itself is responding to your inner movement. That is exactly what is happening. These are the signs that the bridge of incidents has begun to form. You are walking step by step into the scene you have imagined. And life, as it always does, is whispering. It's unfolding. You no longer feel separate from your desire. Instead, you feel a divine intimacy with it. The world is not pushing against you. It is participating with you. These signs are not meant to be worshipped but acknowledged. They are not the destination but mile markers on the way. They are reminders that the thing you imagined is not only possible, it is already forming. Your role is not to chase the signs, but to remain in the state of the wish fulfilled. The signs are evidence that your state is becoming solid, that your inner assumption is drawing forth its reflection. The more you persist in your inner conviction, the more these synchronicities will increase. You'll feel the thrill of being in alignment, not because everything is happening at once, but because everything is happening with meaning. Even delays carry purpose. Even silence speaks. Life is no longer random. It is responsive. It is intimate. It is precise. And so you move through your day with awareness. You notice without needing. You observe without grasping. The signs don't make you believe. They mirror your belief. And when they appear, you smile, not with surprise, but with certainty. You know what they mean. You know what you've done. You have imagined deeply. You have believed silently. And now the world is answering. It always does. There is a sacred moment in the journey of creation when, though nothing in the outer world has changed, a stillness arises within. No announcement is made. No visible signs point to your success. And yet, you feel peace. A deep, unshakable calm that rests not on logic, not on evidence, but on something far more powerful, knowing. This peace is not the absence of storms. It is the presence of faith, and that faith is not blind, it is rooted in experience. The experience of already having received what the world has not yet delivered. You see, when you fully assume the state of the wish fulfilled, when you have entered that inner sanctuary where your desire already lives, the striving ends. Not because the desire is gone, but because it is done. You are no longer seeking, you are no longer questioning, you are no longer bargaining with time or fearing delay. You have arrived in feeling, and that arrival is marked not by fanfare, but by silence. This inner peace is the most powerful sign of all. It does not scream, it does not demand, it whispers in the quiet language of assurance. While the world may still be uncertain, your heart is not. While others may ask, what if it doesn't happen? You find yourself softly smiling because the question is irrelevant. It already has. This is not delusion, it is truth accessed from within. The outer world, in its delay, cannot steal your joy because your joy was never waiting for results. It was born of assumption. To those who do not understand, this calm may appear naive, but to the one who walks by imagination and not by sight, it is strength. It is victory, not predicted but lived in advance. Think of a seed planted in the soil. The moment it is buried, the result is not visible, and yet the gardener walks away in peace. Why? Because they trust the process. They do not dig it up in doubt. They water it, they wait, and they smile, knowing the bloom is inevitable. So it is with you. The moment you have impressed your desire into the subconscious through feeling, through repetition, through conviction, the moment you have lived in the end, your role becomes simple. Rest. This rest is not passivity, it is spiritual confidence. It is the refusal to be disturbed by appearances. It is the quiet joy that rises when you know that what you have felt in imagination is more real than what you see with your eyes. That peace is the echo of alignment. That calm is the signature of creation. So, if you find yourself at peace in the middle of uncertainty, do not question it. Do not try to stir the waters with action or proof. Let the peace be enough. Let it speak louder than doubt, for it is not merely a sign that victory is coming. It is victory itself. Taste it before it takes form, and the world must follow where you have already gone. There comes a quiet moment in the journey where you look back at who you once were, and you no longer recognize them. The person who once wrestled with doubt, who questioned their worth, who clung desperately to desires, begins to feel like a distant memory. Not because they were wrong or broken, but because they were simply incomplete. You have shifted, you are becoming something new. And as the old identity dissolves, what once felt urgent now feels neutral. This is not indifference. It is transcendence. The desires that once burned within you with longing now rest in quiet certainty. You no longer crave them with desperation because you have accepted them as already yours. You are no longer trying to become, you are being. And in that being, the old self fades away, not with drama, but with grace. What you once fought for, you now feel, and what you feel, you attract. This detachment is the most sacred sign of all. The old you, the version that needed signs, that begged for reassurance, that measured progress by outer results, is gone. Not dead, but integrated. Their lessons were valuable, their struggle was holy, but you are no longer them. The story has changed, the narrator has changed, and so the narrative must change too. When you detach from the past version of yourself, you begin to see how much of your world was shaped by identity. Your thoughts, habits, emotions, reactions, all were the byproducts of who you believed yourself to be. Now, with the emergence of a new identity, everything reshapes itself. And it does so without effort. The shift does not feel like trying, it feels like coming home. You walk differently, you speak differently, you respond differently, not because you're forcing change, but because you are aligned with it. The future is no longer something you chase. It becomes the natural extension of who you are now. You look around and sense that your environment must soon adjust, because your consciousness already has. This is the secret so many overlook. The external only changes when the internal is no longer clinging to the old. And that release doesn't feel like loss. It feels like lightness. You begin to notice that your old worries can no longer find you. They knock on the door of a house you no longer live in. They speak to a version of you that no longer answers. You are not pretending to be someone new. You are remembering who you truly are. The doubt, the fear, the need to prove, They were never permanent. They were only costumes. And now the actor has stepped off stage and realized the play was never real. What is real is your being. What is real is your inner knowing. So when you feel the detachment, don't resist it. When you no longer resonate with who you once were, don't mourn it. Rejoice. You are ascending into alignment. And that feeling of neutrality, that is the whisper of arrival. You have moved beyond wanting into knowing. And from that knowing, all things come. There is a quiet revolution that occurs when you no longer fight your present. The battle ends, not because circumstances have changed, but because you have accepted the end. In imagination, you have already received. You have stood in the scene fulfilled. You have tasted the joy of its completion, felt its weight in your hands, heard its echoes in your heart. And because of this inner acceptance, resistance dissolves. Resistance only arises when the present feels separate from the future you desire. It is the tension between what is and what you long for. But when you accept the end fully and without doubt, that gap closes. There is no more grasping, no more straining. You stop trying to force the journey because you understand that the journey must align with the destination you have already assumed. In this state, the present no longer agitates you. You're no longer offended by delay. You no longer react to what's missing, because in your inner world, nothing is missing. The outcome is secure. The path may still be unfolding, but the result is already known. And because of that knowing, you release the need to argue with appearances. You allow what is to be while resting in what will be. This is not passivity, it is power. The most potent transformation happens when you are no longer at war with reality. You do not need to manipulate, beg, or prove. You simply abide in the assurance that what you have seen within must externalize in due time. That assurance is what softens your energy, opens your heart, and silences your doubt. What once felt like effort now feels like ease. The inner turbulence quiets. You stop checking, measuring, comparing. You stop asking when and how. You stop needing validation, because the truest validation lives within, the feeling that it is done. This is the moment where you become magnetic. You no longer push against life. You no longer send out the frequency of lack. Instead, you radiate peace. And peace is the evidence of faith. Peace is the mark of alignment. The universe recognizes this shift and responds, not because you are trying harder, but because you have ceased to resist. There is wisdom in surrender, not in giving up your desire, but in giving up the tension around its arrival. You do not let go of the vision. You let go of the argument with time. You let go of the impulse to make it happen, because you have already made it real within. So when you accept the end, when you see yourself as the person who already has, already is, already knows, then what happens in the middle becomes secondary. Circumstances lose their grip, delay loses its sting, and resistance falls away like dust, leaving behind only clarity and calm. In this space, you live not in hope but in conviction, not in waiting but in fulfillment. And as you remain in that state, quiet, confident, complete, the outer world must bend to reflect it, because what you accept as true within will always find its mirror in the world without. The signs are not coming, they are here. They do not shout, they whisper. They are not found in the chaos of the outer world, but in the stillness of your inner being. You have felt the shift. You no longer chase, you draw things to you. You no longer cling, you release. You no longer wonder, you know. And that knowing is not fragile. It is the immovable foundation upon which all manifestation rests. Synchronicities guide you, peace anchors you, and your old self has quietly stepped aside. The world around you may appear unchanged, but the seed has already cracked open beneath the soil. Your job now is not to strive, but to remain. Remain in the state of the wish fulfilled. Remain in the feeling of certainty. Remain faithful to the vision. You have crossed an invisible threshold. What you once hoped for, you now embody. What you once imagined, you now expect. The signs are clear, not because life is telling you something new, but because you're finally listening, you're finally aligned. You're finally ready to receive without grasping, to expect without fear, and to stand still while everything rearranges itself in your favor. Remain calm, remain true, remain inwardly fulfilled, and let the world catch up to what you've already claimed within. Thank you for walking this path of awareness, power, and remembrance. May your unfolding be graceful, your heart steady, and your desires already done. Stay in the knowing, and thank you.
Every soul is born with divine intent. The exact moment you entered this world was woven into the universe with precise care, guided by a purpose far greater than we can initially grasp. God does not act without purpose, and the date of your birth is no exception. It is a sacred marker, a point in time and space chosen just for you. Imagine that the moment of your birth was not just a stroke of biological or cosmic coincidence. Instead, it was a perfectly orchestrated event woven into the fabric of the universe, a precise alignment set in motion by divine intention. The timing of your arrival, down to the very minute, carries a purpose that stretches beyond comprehension, beyond the visible and immediate. You came into this world at a time chosen by a force that understands you in ways even you do not yet fully understand. To think that your birth could be random would be to overlook the intricacies of a universe where nothing is left to chance. In every moment of existence, there's a mysterious harmony that pulses through all things. This harmony, a rhythm set by divine design, moves through the universe like the flow of an unseen river, carrying with it not only the stars in their courses but the hearts of people too. It is into this river of harmony that you were born. Every cycle of life, night and day, season to season, has its unique time, its right moment to emerge, grow, and transform. Similarly, you emerged into the world when the timing was right, when the conditions were ideal for the specific soul that you are. It's as though the universe knew it needed your presence exactly when you arrived, to fulfill something only you could bring into being. Think about the constellations of events and circumstances that surrounded your birth. The people, the environment, the period in history, all of it formed a backdrop essential to the kind of life you were meant to live. Every element served as a foundation, creating conditions that would shape, test, and refine you. Your birth wasn't just a starting point, but a point of alignment, synchronizing your arrival with a set of experiences designed for your growth. Even if circumstances may not have seemed perfect or desirable, they were the right soil for the seed of your purpose to take root and unfold over time. The timing of your birth also connects you to the greater flow of time and history. Every soul that enters the world brings with it the potential to influence and change. This power doesn't always manifest in grand, earth-shattering ways. Sometimes it's in the subtleties, the quiet influence you have on those around you. Still, there's an undeniable ripple effect that each of us contributes, simply by being part of the world's ongoing story. Your birth timing aligned you with a specific chapter of this story. It's as if God planted you within a particular segment of history where you could best serve, learn, and grow. When you reflect on the timing of your birth, consider that it placed you in touch with generations past and future. The past because it set the stage for the environment into which you were born, and the future because it allowed you to lay down seeds for generations yet to come. You are part of a lineage, a chain in which your own choices, values, and actions create links that reach forward. The divine timing of your birth, then, isn't isolated. It's part of a continuum, connecting you to the vast unfolding of human experience. There's a specific strength or wisdom that only you carry, qualities that were placed within you to respond to the particular circumstances of the era you were born into. Every generation has unique challenges, but they also have the individuals they need to face those challenges. You were born at the right time, given the strengths and abilities necessary to engage with the issues and opportunities that would arise in your lifetime. This divine timing means that, at your core, you are built to succeed within the context of your era. Understanding the divine timing of your birth can open up a deeper sense of purpose. Once you recognize that you were born at precisely the right moment, that your soul chose to enter the world when it did, you may start to see your experiences differently. Each moment, then, holds something valuable to offer you on your journey, teaching you lessons and helping you grow in ways essential to your purpose. Life's obstacles can become gifts, seen as part of the divine training for the life you're meant to live. Rather than feeling out of place or time, you begin to understand that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Knowing that there was a purpose in the timing of your birth instills a profound trust. It allows you to move forward with a confidence grounded in something far greater than yourself. It reminds you that you belong here, that there is a place and time meant for you, and that every experience, every challenge, and every joy has a role in shaping you into the person you are meant to become. This sense of divine timing is more than a reassurance. It is an invitation to live with an openness to all that life brings, to embrace it with gratitude and curiosity. It is an invitation to honor the moment of your birth as sacred, knowing that the God who set the stars in their courses also knew the right time for you. Your birth date is more than a marker on the calendar. It is a spiritual signature that carries the essence of your soul's journey, a silent whisper from the universe that reflects who you are at a core level. Consider that this date, the exact day, month, and year you entered the world, holds specific energetic qualities that resonate with you uniquely. When you start to view your birth date as a code or a symbol, you open yourself up to understanding your purpose and path in ways you might have previously overlooked. Your birth date then becomes a guide, a cosmic signature that captures the truth of who you are meant to become. Each number within your birth date has its own vibration, a rhythm that pulses with meaning. For centuries, people have believed that numbers carry spiritual significance, from ancient philosophers and mystics to cultures across the world. Numbers aren't arbitrary, they're expressions of patterns, sequences, and cycles. Your birth date is a combination of numbers that reflect certain characteristics, potentials, and inclinations that are woven into your very being. It's as if these numbers hold a mirror up to your soul, revealing hidden strengths, tendencies, and areas for growth. They act as signposts, quietly directing you toward the unique path your spirit is here to explore. Your birth date, then, doesn't just reflect who you are as an individual, it also ties you to a larger cosmic dance. Imagine that the universe is a vast ocean with waves that rise and fall in cycles. Your birth date is like a drop within this ocean, a part of the grand pattern. This doesn't diminish your individuality, but rather it situates you within a harmonious whole. Understanding this helps you recognize that your life is interconnected with a greater purpose, one that goes beyond the self. Your spiritual signature contributes to the unfolding story of the universe, adding your unique note to the divine symphony. For those who take time to reflect on their birth date and explore its significance, there often emerges a deeper sense of self-acceptance. There's a knowing that arises when you understand that you were born precisely as you were meant to be. You stop comparing yourself to others or wishing you were different. Instead, you begin to embrace your qualities, both light and shadow, as parts of your spiritual signature. Each trait, challenge, and gift becomes a piece of the puzzle that makes up your authentic self. Rather than resisting these aspects, you learn to see them as essential elements that allow you to fulfill your purpose. In recognizing your birth date as a spiritual signature, you realize that it's a source of guidance, a map for the soul. Every time you face uncertainty or feel disconnected, this signature calls you back to center, reminding you of the qualities and strengths that are inherently yours. When you reflect on your birth date, it becomes a grounding force, reconnecting you with your purpose and reminding you that you are exactly where you need to be. Understanding your birth date as a spiritual signature is a powerful affirmation of your worth and uniqueness. It's a reminder that you are here for a reason, that your presence contributes to the world in ways only you can. The journey to understanding this signature isn't always straightforward, but with each step you move closer to the truth of who you are. Your birth date is more than a point in time, it is an eternal imprint of the divine intention that brought you into being. Embrace it, and you embrace yourself. Within each person lies a unique blueprint, an encoded plan or map that holds the potential of who they are meant to become. Imagine this blueprint as a detailed design crafted with purpose by a higher power. Every characteristic, strength, challenge, and aspiration you possess is woven into this life map, waiting to be realized and expressed. Unlocking your life's blueprint is an invitation to tap into the depths of your being, to discover the profound purpose and direction that is specifically aligned with your soul's journey. This blueprint isn't something that is immediately apparent from the moment you are born, rather, it unfolds gradually, revealing itself as you engage with life. Think of it as a puzzle in which each experience, relationship, and insight forms a piece. Every choice you make brings you closer to understanding the larger picture. This gradual discovery allows you to integrate and embody the lessons you need, shaping you in ways that align with your true purpose. The process of unlocking this blueprint requires patience, trust, and a willingness to explore all aspects of yourself. One key to understanding your blueprint lies in recognizing that your inner desires and dreams are not random. The visions and goals that ignite your spirit are clues to the path you're meant to follow. When you feel a deep calling or passion, it's a signal from your blueprint, pointing you toward an area where you can grow, contribute, and find fulfillment. These desires resonate with your soul. Because they align with your design, they are the expression of who you are meant to be in this world. Ignoring them or suppressing them only creates discord, a sense of dissatisfaction that lingers as a reminder of unfulfilled potential. Life's blueprint doesn't only contain dreams and aspirations, it also includes the challenges you'll encounter. These challenges are not meant to be obstacles but opportunities for growth, resilience, and self-discovery. They are placed within your path to refine you, to draw out strengths and qualities that might otherwise remain dormant. Often, these challenges bring you closer to understanding your life's purpose, as they reveal the depth of your character and the power you hold within. Unlocking your blueprint means accepting these moments as integral to your journey, viewing them as necessary steps that shape you into who you are meant to be. As you unlock your life's blueprint, you also come to understand the importance of self-reflection and inner work. This is a journey that requires you to look within, to ask questions that go beyond the surface. What are your core values? What do you truly want to create in this world? When you take time to connect with your inner self, you start to see patterns and themes that are repeated throughout your life. These patterns are signposts, guiding you toward the purpose embedded within you. Self-reflection allows you to shed layers of conditioning, discovering the authentic self beneath, and this is where the blueprint becomes clearer. The people in your life are also part of your blueprint. Every significant relationship, every encounter has a purpose in shaping your journey. Some people come into your life to support and uplift you, while others may challenge you in ways that prompt growth. Each relationship holds a lesson, reflecting aspects of your inner self and pushing you to evolve. By recognizing the role each person plays in your life, you begin to see the intricate design of your blueprint. Even difficult relationships, in retrospect, often reveal themselves to have been essential for your development, helping you understand parts of yourself that you may not have seen otherwise. Unlocking your life's blueprint also involves aligning with the natural flow of life, rather than resisting it. Many people spend their lives fighting against circumstances, attempting to control every detail, but true fulfillment comes when you learn to trust in the unfolding process. This trust allows you to surrender to a higher plan, one that holds a deeper wisdom than you can perceive. When you learn to work with life rather than against it, you find that opportunities and insights come more easily, guiding you further along your path. Trusting this process doesn't mean being passive, it means acting with intention, knowing that you are supported by a greater force. Spiritual practices such as meditation, prayer, or journaling can be powerful tools for connecting with your blueprint. These practices help quiet the noise of the outer world, allowing you to tune into the inner voice that is constantly guiding you. When you take time to engage in these practices, you tap into a higher wisdom, gaining clarity on the steps you need to take. Your blueprint speaks to you in these quiet moments, offering guidance that feels right, even if it defies logic. By creating space for this inner dialogue, you open yourself to insights that can reveal the next steps on your journey. Every aspect of nature reflects this harmonious rhythm. Day transitions to night, winter to spring, birth to death, and then rebirth. Each phase of these cycles is essential, holding a unique energy and purpose that contributes to the whole. The darkness of night isn't merely the absence of light, but a time for rest, rejuvenation, and introspection. The cold of winter isn't a barren wasteland, but a sacred pause, a time when life turns inward, storing energy in preparation for the spring. By respecting each part of the cycle, you come to appreciate the necessity of every stage, recognizing that each has something to offer. One powerful way to align with these cycles is to observe and respect them in your daily life. The more closely you connect with nature's rhythms, the more you feel the sacred harmony that surrounds you. Rise with the sun, align your energy with the shift from morning's productivity to evening's relaxation. Honor the changing seasons by adjusting your lifestyle to match their energy. Through these small actions, you bring yourself into greater alignment with the universal cycles. They aren't abstract concepts, but are woven into the fabric of your existence, affecting everything from your emotions to your energy levels. In recognizing the sacred harmony of these cycles, you begin to understand that there is no such thing as true stagnation. When things seem still, when life feels quiet, you are in a different part of the cycle, a resting point, a gathering of energy, a preparation for what is to come. These quiet times are as essential as moments of high activity and change. They provide space for reflection, healing, and recalibration, allowing you to grow in strength and wisdom. Just as plants need both sunlight and shadow, you too need both action and rest to reach your full potential. By understanding universal cycles, you may also gain a new perspective on timing. Often we want things to happen immediately, overlooking the fact that life unfolds in stages, each at its own pace. When you plant a seed, it does not sprout overnight. It takes time, nurturing, and the right conditions to grow. The same is true for your dreams, your goals, and your personal growth. There are times for planting, times for tending, and times for harvesting. When you align with these phases, you cultivate patience, recognizing that things happen not when you demand them to, but when the time is right. The cycles of the universe teach us that harmony doesn't mean a constant state of balance, but rather a dynamic flow between contrasting forces. Light and dark, creation and destruction, fullness and emptiness, each is necessary, each is sacred. Through this understanding, you see that your own life's challenges are not disruptions, but elements of a larger pattern that is guiding you toward growth and self-realization. Each difficulty is an invitation to delve deeper, to find balance within, and to trust in the wisdom that orchestrates these cycles. The sacred harmony of universal cycles reminds us of our connection to something greater. You are not isolated in your struggles or triumphs, but are part of an interconnected web of life that follows the same patterns and rhythms. Embracing this connection allows you to move with life rather than against it, honoring each moment and phase for what it brings. This alignment with the universal cycles transforms your perception, inviting you to live with an awareness of the sacred rhythm that flows through all things. In doing so, you find peace, purpose, and a profound sense of belonging in the vastness of the cosmos. Imagine that your life has a unique purpose, one that was set in motion before you were even born, woven into the fabric of the cosmos. This purpose, this calling, is intricately tied to the stars. Just as every star has its place in the universe, shining and contributing to the night sky's beauty, so too do you have a place and purpose that radiate outward, influencing the lives around you and shaping the world in subtle, profound ways. Your purpose is not random or accidental. It's an essential part of a greater cosmic design, a personal path that the stars have outlined for you. Looking to the heavens, it becomes clear that the universe operates with a sense of order, a rhythm that connects all things. The planets, stars, and galaxies move in harmony with each other, and within this grand design lies a reflection of our own lives. This connection has been recognized by ancient cultures across the globe. Astrology, for instance, is based on the understanding that the position of the stars and planets at the time of your birth offers insight into your personality, strengths, and even your life's purpose. It suggests that the cosmos imprints a part of its energy onto you, giving you a unique set of qualities that are yours to harness, develop, and bring to life. Your purpose is not something you have to create from scratch. It is something you uncover and step into over time. Much like the stars that reveal themselves at night, your purpose emerges as you grow and expand your awareness. Through self-discovery, life experiences, and introspection, the calling within you becomes clearer. The process may not always feel straightforward, and there may be times when your path feels clouded or uncertain. But just as stars are constant even behind clouds, your purpose remains a steady presence, ready to guide you when you are open to receive its wisdom. One way to tune into this purpose is by following the subtle signs around you. The universe often speaks in whispers, placing signs and synchronicities along your path. These can come in the form of chance meetings, repeated symbols, or even an inner nudge that urges you to take a particular step. Each sign is a reminder that you are not alone, that you are part of a greater cosmic journey. Trusting these signs and acting on them allows you to align more closely with your purpose. In doing so, you become more attuned to the rhythm of the universe, feeling supported by something vast and timeless. Living with the awareness that your purpose is written in the stars also brings a profound sense of peace. You begin to realize that you are exactly where you are meant to be, even when life feels uncertain. Every experience, no matter how small, contributes to your purpose. There is no wasted time, no missteps. Each moment is a stepping stone on the path of your soul's journey. When you trust in this design, you allow yourself to relax into the present, knowing that you are being guided by a force that has always been and will always be with you. Recognizing that your purpose is written in the stars means understanding that you are here for a reason, one that is unique to you. No one else can walk your path. No one else can bring the same gifts to the world. Embracing this truth frees you from comparison and self-doubt, allowing you to focus on what you are meant to do, rather than what others are doing. This knowledge is liberating, empowering you to step boldly into your calling, knowing that your contribution matters. Like the stars, shines continuously, illuminating the way forward. You are here to embody it, to live it fully, and to share it with the world. This journey is both individual and collective. As you fulfill your purpose, you contribute to the harmony of all things. In embracing the idea that your purpose is written in the stars, you align with the timeless truth that you are a vital part of the universe, and your existence is purposeful, radiant, and deeply connected to the cosmic dance of life. The journey of self-realization is one of the most powerful undertakings you can embrace. It is an exploration into the depths of who you truly are, beyond societal expectations, roles, or fleeting identities. Self-realization is the process of awakening to your true nature, the part of you that remains constant despite life's changes. It is about coming into contact with your authentic self, understanding your purpose, and living from a place of inner truth. This journey requires courage, patience, and dedication, but the rewards are transformative. Self-realization opens the door to a life of profound clarity, peace, and fulfillment. Begins with self-awareness, the practice of observing your thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment. This awareness allows you to see how your mind works, to recognize patterns and habits that may be limiting you. Often we identify strongly with our thoughts, believing that we are defined by them. However, Through self-awareness, you realize that you are not your thoughts, you are the observer, the consciousness behind them. This understanding creates a powerful shift, freeing you from negative thought patterns and reactions that have held you back. With this newfound clarity, you become empowered to make conscious choices rather than acting out of habit or conditioning. Another essential part of self-realization is self-acceptance. As you dive deeper into self-awareness, you'll likely encounter aspects of yourself that are difficult to face. These could be unresolved fears, insecurities, or past mistakes. Self-acceptance means acknowledging these parts of yourself without judgment, understanding that they are part of your human experience. True acceptance brings peace, because it allows you to let go of shame, guilt, or regret. When you fully accept yourself, you no longer feel the need to prove anything to the world. You become whole within yourself. This wholeness is empowering and allows you to move through life with confidence and inner strength. In the process of self-realization, you also come to understand the nature of your desires and goals. Often we chase external achievements, believing they will bring us happiness or validation. But as you connect with your authentic self, you realize that true fulfillment comes from within, not from outside sources. External accomplishments can provide satisfaction, but they are not the foundation of lasting happiness. When you understand this, you are free to pursue your goals from a place of passion and purpose, rather than as a means to prove your worth. This alignment with your true desires brings a sense of inner peace and joy that external success alone cannot provide. Realization also involves letting go of limiting beliefs. Throughout life, you are exposed to various ideas about who you should be, what you should achieve, and how you should behave. Many of these beliefs are imposed by society, family, or past experiences. But as you grow in self-awareness, you begin to question these beliefs, discerning which ones truly resonate with you and which ones hold you back. Letting go of limiting beliefs can be challenging, as they often feel deeply ingrained. However, when you release them, you open yourself to new possibilities and a sense of freedom that allows you to explore your potential without constraint. In self-realization, you cultivate a deeper connection to your intuition. Intuition is your inner compass, the voice within that guides you toward what is true and right for you. When you're disconnected from your authentic self, it can be difficult to trust your intuition, as it often goes against logic or societal expectations. But as you align more closely with your true nature, your intuition becomes stronger and more reliable. Trusting this inner guidance helps you make decisions that align with your highest self, leading to a life that is more purposeful and fulfilling. Intuition becomes a trusted friend, helping you navigate life with clarity and confidence. Realization also brings a profound sense of interconnectedness. As you shed false identities and limiting beliefs, you recognize that you are part of something greater than yourself. The boundaries between you and others begin to dissolve, and you understand that we are all connected by a shared essence. This realization fosters compassion and empathy, as you see that everyone is on their own journey of self-discovery and growth. It softens judgments and opens your heart, allowing you to relate to others from a place of love and understanding. This sense of interconnectedness transforms relationships and creates a deeper sense of unity with all of life. Self-realization leads to a life of authenticity and alignment. You become more attuned to your inner truth, and every aspect of your life begins to reflect this alignment. Your actions, relationships, and goals resonate with who you truly are, rather than who you think you should be. This authenticity is liberating because it frees you from the pressure to conform or seek approval from others. Instead, you live from a place of integrity and purpose, guided by your inner wisdom. Life becomes a joyful expression of your true self, unencumbered by the limitations of fear, doubt, or insecurity. The power of self-realization is transformative, bringing you into harmony with yourself and the world around you. It empowers you to live a life that is meaningful, joyful, and aligned with your highest potential. This journey is not a destination but a continual unfolding, a deepening of your connection with your true self. Every moment offers an opportunity for growth, for greater self-awareness, and for embracing the truth of who you are. Through self-realization, You discover that you are not just a product of your past or circumstances, but a unique, powerful presence with the potential to create a life of purpose, love, and fulfillment. Living in harmony with God's design means aligning yourself with the natural rhythm, purpose, and wisdom that flows through all of creation. It's a way of life rooted in the understanding that every person, creature, and element in the universe is woven into a vast, interconnected design. This design is not accidental, it's purposeful, intricate, and guided by divine intelligence. Embracing this truth opens the door to a life of peace, joy, and balance, where you become attuned to the deeper currents that guide your existence. Living in harmony with God's design invites you to surrender to a greater vision, trusting that life's events, both joyful and challenging, are part of a loving and benevolent plan. The first step to living in harmony with His design is to cultivate awareness of the divine presence within and around you. Many of us go through life caught up in daily routines, worries, and distractions, which can cloud our awareness of the sacred. But when you take the time to look within, to pause and reflect, you begin to sense a presence that transcends the ordinary. It's the voice of intuition, the stillness in nature, or the quiet reassurance you feel during moments of peace. This presence is God's Spirit, reminding you that you are part of something larger, a design far beyond the limits of human understanding. By connecting with this divine presence regularly, you invite God's guidance into your life and open yourself to receive wisdom that can only be found in stillness and quiet. Another way to live in harmony with God's design is by embracing your unique gifts and purpose. Every individual has been given qualities, strengths, and passions that are meant to be shared. These aren't arbitrary, they are clues to your purpose, signposts pointing toward your role in the world. Embracing your gifts means acknowledging that you are not here by accident and that your contributions, however big or small, have a place in the grand design. When you live out of alignment with your true purpose, life can feel like a constant struggle. But when you lean into what brings you joy, what excites and energizes you, you tap into a flow that feels natural and effortless. This flow is God's grace moving through you, reminding you that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Living in harmony with God's design also calls for humility and surrender. There will be times when life takes you down paths you did not expect, and during these moments the human tendency is to resist, question, or try to control the outcome. However, true harmony is found not in resistance but in surrender. Surrender does not mean passivity or giving up, rather, it's an act of trust, a willingness to release control and trust that God's plan is unfolding exactly as it should. When you let go of the need to understand or control every detail, you allow divine guidance to lead you in ways that you may not have foreseen, but are ultimately for your highest good. Surrender is an act of faith, a recognition that there is a greater wisdom at work that always has your best interests at heart. Another aspect of living in harmony with God's design is nurturing a sense of gratitude for all that life offers. When you begin to see life as part of a divine plan, even challenges take on a new meaning. Instead of viewing them as obstacles or punishments, you start to recognize them as opportunities for growth, lessons designed to refine your character and deepen your understanding. Gratitude allows you to appreciate the blessings in your life and to trust that the hardships too have a purpose. In the same way that storms nourish the earth and lead to new growth, life's struggles are part of a cycle that brings about spiritual maturity. Gratitude helps you stay anchored in faith, reminding you that each experience, whether joyful or painful, is a gift that moves you closer to the divine. In harmony with God's design also means cultivating compassion and empathy for others. When you recognize that all beings are part of the same divine plan, it becomes easier to look past differences and connect with the shared humanity in each person. Compassion calls you to treat others with kindness, patience, and understanding, honoring their unique journeys. When you live with compassion, you contribute to a world that reflects God's love and harmony. This approach to relationships creates a ripple effect, inspiring others to act with kindness, forgiveness, and love. Compassion also reinforces the understanding that we are all interconnected, all part of the same design, working together to create a world filled with peace and understanding. Living in harmony with God's design means having a sense of reverence for nature and all of creation. Nature operates in perfect balance, following cycles and patterns that are incredibly complex yet function in perfect harmony. Every sunrise, season, and changing tide is a reminder of the wisdom embedded in creation. Observing nature teaches you to trust in the rhythm of life and to appreciate the beauty of each moment. It shows you that, just as nature evolves and adapts, you too are constantly growing and changing, guided by an unseen but ever-present force. Reverence for nature brings you closer to the divine and helps you recognize that everything in creation, including you, has a purpose within the grand design. Living in harmony with God's design is an ongoing journey of alignment, trust, and love. It's about finding peace in knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, embracing the flow of life rather than resisting it, and contributing to a world that reflects the beauty, love, and wisdom of the Creator. It's a way of living that transforms your perspective, allowing you to see every moment, every experience, and every person as a piece of a beautiful, divinely orchestrated whole. In this way, your life becomes a testament to God's design, a reflection of the sacred harmony that exists within and around you, bringing a sense of profound fulfillment and joy. In conclusion, living in harmony with God's design is about embracing the deeper wisdom that flows through all of creation, aligning ourselves with our true purpose, and surrendering to the divine plan that unfolds in our lives. It invites us to live with awareness, gratitude, compassion, and trust, knowing that everything, both joyful and challenging, has a purpose within the grand design. As we cultivate this understanding, we create lives of peace, fulfillment, and connection both to ourselves and to the world around us. May we all continue on this journey of alignment, knowing that as we live in harmony with God's design, we are contributing to the greater good, reflecting love, light, and grace in every aspect of our lives. Thank you for being a part of this moment of reflection, and may you carry this sense of harmony and peace with you as you move forward on your journey. Imagine for a moment that your presence, your warmth, your essence was woven into the fabric of someone's life so seamlessly they never questioned it. Your love became like air to them everywhere, always as constant as the rising sun, so natural that it went unnoticed. Imagine your life as a quiet but powerful mirror, reflecting back to others what they choose to offer you. You don't push, you don't pull. Instead, you show up fully, allowing others to see themselves through the way they treat you. In this space, your presence becomes a silent teacher, a guide not through words, but through pure reflection. When people look at you, they are seeing themselves, even if they don't realize it. And when they treat you poorly or with indifference, you are simply giving them an honest view of the inner world they are choosing to live in. This mirroring isn't something you do intentionally, it's an energy that surrounds those who come close to you. If they bring warmth, they will see warmth in you. If they come with kindness, they will see kindness reflected in your actions. And if they approach with thoughtlessness, they will see, sooner or later, the absence of that warmth reflected back to them as well. What you give, what you withhold, and even what you say or don't say, serves as a testament to their own decisions. It's like placing them in a quiet, transparent room, where all their choices echo back at them, often in ways they don't expect. For some people, this reflection is welcome. They find joy in the harmony created when they offer respect and kindness, and they are met with it in return. They understand that your respect for them isn't something they can demand or manipulate, but rather something they must nurture through their own integrity. They come to realize that every moment they are in your presence, they are in fact choosing the kind of connection they wish to have, and they act accordingly, appreciating the depth and beauty that arises from this balance. Others, however, may come to this mirror in a different state. They may arrive with ego, with unkindness, or simply with neglect. They may take you for granted, assuming your light will shine regardless of how they treat you. They see themselves as separate, above, or more important. and for a while they may get exactly what they desire, a sense of control or a superficial satisfaction. But eventually, when they look into your mirror, they'll start to feel the emptiness of their own actions. The warmth you once gave freely is withdrawn, and in its place they feel only the cold reflection of their own neglect. You don't have to do anything to make this happen. It is simply the natural order of things. In life, everyone is offered the mirror of their own actions, whether they realize it or not. Some may come to you expecting that no matter what they do, you will remain open, giving, and warm. But life is wiser than that. Life requires that every relationship be reciprocal, or it eventually comes to an end. When your kindness and patience meet with nothing in return, the mirror naturally darkens. When they look for you, they see only their own choices staring back. And in that moment, they begin to understand. This process can be painful for them, and perhaps even painful for you. After all, you did not enter their life with the intention of teaching them through absence or silence. You hoped that the connection would grow, that mutual respect would be the foundation upon which you both could build. But when that respect is absent from their side, the mirror reflects only what they offer, an empty space where kindness, care, and presence once were. The lesson is subtle, but powerful. They will come to see that their actions toward you were not just something they did to someone else. In reality, those actions were part of their own story, their own character. The reflection that once showed warmth now reveals their lack, their indifference, and perhaps even their ego. They begin to understand that the person they pushed away was not just a presence in their life, but a reflection of their own ability to give, to love, and to cherish. They learn that losing you was, in a sense, losing part of themselves. As you move forward, you do not need to wait for them to understand. You are free to walk your own path, knowing that your presence was true and that it offered them the clearest glimpse of themselves. You have offered them a gift, one that may take time for them to see fully. In losing you, they come face to face with the person they have chosen to be. And in time they may learn that a mirror, though silent, speaks the deepest truths. You were never there to change them, only to be present, to be yourself, and in doing so you have held up the most honest reflection they could ever see. They may feel the pain of this reflection, of realizing that you did not leave because you lacked love, but because they lacked the willingness to reciprocate it. And perhaps one day this truth will inspire them to change. But by then you will be far down the path of your own growth, and they will be left with the quiet echo of their own choices, mirrored back to them by the light they failed to hold on to. Absence is a strange teacher, one that often arrives uninvited yet leaves a lasting impression. When someone is present, their essence surrounds us, blending seamlessly with our world, often unnoticed. But in their absence, something profound begins to unfold. The spaces they once filled, their laughter, their companionship, even their silence become more pronounced, and their lack sharpens our awareness, intensifying the things we may have once overlooked. It's in the void that we realize the true impact they had, and the subtle ways they enriched our lives become evident in a way that presence alone could never reveal. Absence brings clarity by removing the distractions of routine and familiarity. In the comfort of daily interactions, it's easy to fall into a rhythm, often taking someone's presence for granted, seeing it as a given. But when they're no longer there, everything about them, their voice, their scent, the way they move through our lives echoes with new weight. The small moments they occupied become sharp reminders of what is now missing, and we start to understand the depth of their influence. This absence doesn't just create a space, it reveals what was hidden in plain sight all along. When we lose someone's presence, even temporarily, our minds naturally begin to revisit memories and experiences we shared. This revisiting isn't merely a nostalgic exercise, it's a journey of rediscovery. Memories that once felt routine now reveal layers of meaning. Perhaps there was an unspoken kindness in their actions, a thoughtfulness in their words, or a strength in their support that we didn't fully appreciate when they were close. It's only in absence that these subtleties become visible, and we realize the profound impact they had on shaping our own lives. Every gesture, every word now carries a weight it didn't seem to have before. In the emptiness of absence, our own inner landscape shifts. Where once we may have leaned on them, now we must find balance on our own. This can feel daunting, as though a safety net has been pulled away, forcing us to confront parts of ourselves we may have ignored. But there is also an unexpected gift in this solitude, a heightened awareness not only of them but of ourselves. We begin to understand the ways they complemented our strengths and supported our weaknesses. Their absence illuminates parts of us that only they could see, reflecting back the subtle ways they brought out our best or made us feel whole. Sometimes, this sharpening of awareness brings a mix of regret and gratitude. We may find ourselves wishing we had said more, shown more appreciation, or spent more time in those ordinary moments. Absence can magnify this sense of loss, as we come face to face with the reality of what we can no longer change. Yet within this regret lies a profound lesson and invitation to cherish others more deeply, to be more present, and to recognize the value of those who walk with us in life. It teaches us that time is fleeting, and that presence is a precious gift that should never be taken lightly. Absence also sharpens awareness by revealing the truth about the connections we form. There are times when someone's absence feels like a deep, irreplaceable loss, a reminder that they were an integral part of our lives. Other times, absence may reveal that the relationship was more fragile than we realized, that perhaps we were holding onto a connection that no longer served us. In either case, absence serves as a mirror, reflecting the true nature of our relationships and allowing us to see what remains and what has faded. It's an opportunity to reevaluate, to let go of what no longer resonates, and to embrace what truly matters. Through this process, we come to understand that absence is not merely the lack of presence, but an active force of revelation. It opens our eyes to what was once hidden in familiarity, prompting us to see the beauty in those we love, even when they're no longer near. It teaches us that love and appreciation are often silent, growing in the background, only fully realized in their departure. And so, as we move forward, we carry with us the lessons of absence, a deeper appreciation for those who enrich our lives, a heightened awareness of the impermanence of every moment, and the understanding that presence is a gift to be cherished. Absence invites us to become more mindful, more intentional with our time and attention. It reminds us that life is not simply a series of days, but a collection of shared experiences and connections that shape who we are. And as we learn to honor these moments, to see them with fresh eyes, we carry within us a sharper, more grateful heart. Whether or not someone returns, we are forever changed by the awareness absence has brought. We see life with a depth and clarity that can only come from loss, a gift that turns even sorrow into an act of appreciation. In this way, absence doesn't just sharpen our awareness of others, it sharpens our awareness of ourselves and of the fleeting, sacred nature of human connection. It asks us to live in the present with an open heart, so that we may experience the fullness of those we love without the regret of missed moments. Through absence, we are reminded that life, fragile and finite, is to be lived with gratitude. For every shared moment is a treasure, every goodbye a lesson, and every return a blessing. Regret is one of life's most profound teachers, arriving unannounced yet leaving an indelible mark. Unlike other emotions, regret is often persistent, sitting heavily in the heart and mind, replaying missed chances, unsaid words, or paths untaken. It becomes a weight we carry, sometimes daily, and though uncomfortable, this weight has a unique power to transform us. Regret is a powerful teacher because it forces us to look back, not just to remember, but to confront our choices, to understand our actions, and to imagine how things might have been different. It doesn't exist to punish us, but to guide us toward growth and awareness, helping us live more intentionally moving forward. At its core, regret arises from a gap between our actions and our values. It often stems from a decision made hastily or an opportunity ignored out of fear or complacency. In the moment, it's easy to overlook these things. We can convince ourselves that it wasn't the right time, that there will be another chance, or that a particular choice won't matter in the long run. But when we look back and realize the impact of our actions or inactions, we begin to understand how precious each choice really is. Regret teaches us that the present moment is fleeting and that we often take for granted the opportunities that may never come again. For many, regret is most sharply felt in relationships. It might be a friend we drifted from, a loved one we failed to appreciate, or words spoken in anger that can never be taken back. We often don't recognize the importance of these people or moments until they're gone, and only then do we understand the weight of our actions. Regret reminds us that people are not infinite resources. They have their own journeys, their own limits, and sometimes when we take them for granted, we lose them. This loss, intensified by regret, teaches us to be more attentive, kinder, and more appreciative of the people who enrich our lives. The weight of regret can be a powerful motivator. It pushes us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves, truths that might have been hidden beneath our ego or pride. When we feel the ache of regret, we are forced to admit that we could have done better, that we could have shown more patience, more courage, or more kindness. This realization isn't always easy, but it's a necessary part of personal growth. Regret strips away our excuses and defenses, showing us the raw truth of who we were in that moment. It's a painful but essential lesson, one that urges us to strive for integrity, to act in alignment with our true values, and to live without fear of future regrets. In its silent way, regret also encourages empathy. By feeling the pain of our own missed opportunities or mistakes, we become more understanding of others who might be struggling with similar burdens. We learn to be less judgmental, recognizing that everyone carries their own regrets, their own stories of loss or failure. This shared humanity makes us more compassionate, more willing to forgive others as we learn to forgive ourselves. Regret humbles us, reminding us that we are all flawed, that we all make mistakes, and that growth often comes from accepting and learning from these experiences rather than denying or suppressing them. It's crucial to understand that regret is not meant to be a permanent burden. While it can serve as a powerful teacher, its purpose is not to keep us stuck in the past. Instead, it should inspire change, urging us to live more fully and wisely in the present. If we allow regret to consume us, it becomes a form of self-punishment, one that prevents us from moving forward. The true lesson of regret lies in its ability to teach us and then encourage us to let go. It's about honoring the lesson without letting the pain define us. Regret teaches us to live with greater awareness, to be more conscious of the choices we make each day. It reminds us that we can't always rely on second chances or assume that tomorrow will come. With this awareness, we learn to appreciate the moments we have, to speak with honesty, and to love without holding back. Regret challenges us to be present, to act with courage, and to honor our values in every interaction, so that when we look back, we can do so with a sense of fulfillment rather than sorrow. Regret can transform us if we let it. It can guide us toward a life lived with intention, helping us to understand what truly matters. When we embrace the weight of regret and allow it to teach us, we become more resilient, more compassionate, and more aligned with our deepest values. And though we may still carry the memories of those missed opportunities or unwise choices, they serve not as sources of pain, but as reminders of the lessons learned. We begin to see that regret is not just a shadow of our past mistakes, but a beacon guiding us toward a brighter, more mindful future. So we honor regret by allowing it to sharpen our awareness, to deepen our empathy, and to inspire us to live with greater purpose. Through regret, we become more authentic, more aligned with who we want to be, and more determined to make choices that reflect the best of ourselves. Regret may be a heavy burden, but it is also a gift, one that, when embraced, has the power to transform our lives in profound and lasting ways. When someone with a profound presence leaves our lives, a void emerges not just in our physical space, but in the unseen, often subtle energy they brought with them. This isn't simply a matter of missing a person, it's about the emptiness left by their unique essence, the way they made us feel, and the impact of their energy on our own. They were a force that colored our days, shaped our interactions, and held a place in our hearts. In their absence, it's as though a part of us is missing too, something intangible yet undeniably felt. Their energy leaves a void, one that can be both painful and enlightening. In any meaningful relationship, energy flows back and forth, creating a balance between giving and receiving, nurturing and being nurtured. This energetic exchange often happens beneath our awareness, woven into daily routines, conversations, and even shared silences. We grow accustomed to this flow, allowing it to shape our experiences and in many ways define who we are. Their laughter, compassion, or simple presence become threads in the fabric of our lives, so subtly integrated that we hardly notice. But when they're gone, these threads unravel, leaving spaces that feel raw and exposed, and we suddenly become aware of how much we relied on their energy. This void left by their absence is not just an emotional ache, it is a shift in the energetic fabric of our lives. The space they occupied was filled with a unique frequency, one that may have uplifted us, inspired us, or simply offered a sense of calm and grounding. Without it, we feel the imbalance, a sense of something important being out of place. It's as if the colors of our world have faded slightly, and we're left navigating an emptiness we don't fully understand. This absence is a silent reminder of their significance, a reminder that they brought something irreplaceable into our lives, something that cannot be easily filled by anyone else. In many ways, this void teaches us about ourselves too. When someone leaves, we are left with our own energy, our own thoughts and emotions, without the buffer of their influence. We may begin to feel things more intensely, as though their presence once absorbed some of the impact of life's challenges, and now we're left exposed. In their absence, we become more aware of our own vulnerabilities, our own needs and desires. We start to realize how their energy complemented ours, how it supported us in ways we might not have fully acknowledged. It's a stark but valuable realization, one that invites us to explore parts of ourselves that may have been hidden in their presence. This void can also act as a mirror, reflecting back to us the parts of ourselves we may have projected onto them. Sometimes we look to others to fulfill aspects of ourselves that we feel are lacking. In their presence, we feel whole, grounded, or inspired. But when they're no longer around, we're left facing the reality that these qualities are not necessarily theirs to provide, but are perhaps aspects we need to cultivate within ourselves. Their absence shines a light on the parts of us that need nurturing and growth, teaching us that while their energy was a beautiful addition to our lives, our own energy is something we must also honor and develop. Over time, this void can serve as a source of growth. As much as we may long to fill it, it remains challenging us to learn, adapt, and ultimately transform. This void asks us to become more self-reliant, to generate within ourselves the qualities we once found in them. If they brought peace, we must find peace within. If they were a source of inspiration, we must learn to inspire ourselves. In doing so, we do not replace them or diminish their impact. Rather, we honor them by becoming stronger, wiser, and more complete individuals. The void left by their energy can also remind us of the importance of connection, of the fact that we are all bound together in ways that transcend physical presence. Their absence reminds us of how deeply human we are, how we are each both individual and interconnected. The space they occupied remains a testament to the beauty of shared energy, of the unique impact one person can have on another. And while it may take time, this void gradually transforms from a painful absence into a quiet gratitude, a gratitude for having had the chance to know them, to share in their energy, and to carry forward the lessons they unknowingly left behind. The void left by their energy does not have to be filled. Instead, it can be integrated into our lives as a reminder of love, connection, and growth. We learn to live with it, allowing it to shape us in ways we may not have chosen, but which deepen our capacity to feel and connect. Their energy may no longer be present, but the void it leaves holds a kind of wisdom, one that teaches us about our resilience, our capacity to grow, and the beauty of shared existence. In time, we may even come to appreciate the void for what it represents, a reminder of the impact one soul can have on another, of the way energy weaves us together, and of the strength we gain in learning to navigate life's inevitable absences. The void remains, but it shifts from sorrow to understanding, from loss to a deeper sense of the gift that connection truly is. And in that understanding, we carry forward their energy, honoring it not by trying to replace it, but by allowing it to transform us in ways that help us to live more fully. There's something undeniably powerful about a person's influence. It's an intangible force, woven quietly into everyday interactions, shaping others in ways they might not even realize until that person is gone. True influence doesn't shout, it doesn't demand attention. Instead, it leaves an indelible mark on hearts and minds, subtly guiding, inspiring, and uplifting others in ways that last long after the person has departed. When you have genuinely touched people, your influence continues to echo in their thoughts, actions, and decisions. Over time, they come to recognize the impact of your presence, often more deeply than when you were actively a part of their lives. They will see the mark you left, and they will feel the weight of your influence. Real influence is rooted in authenticity. It's not about trying to impress or control others, it's about living in alignment with your values and letting those values shape your interactions with those around you. When people encounter someone who lives authentically, it leaves a lasting impression. Authenticity is magnetic because it's rare many people put on masks or conform to social expectations, but those who show up as they are, who act in integrity with their true selves, create a safe space for others to do the same. This authenticity is contagious. It encourages others to reflect, to be honest with themselves, and to act from a place of integrity. Influence often works in subtle, unseen ways. It's in the quiet advice you gave that they remember in a moment of doubt, or in the encouragement you offered that surfaces when they face a challenge. Perhaps they don't notice these nudges right away, but over time the influence you had on their thoughts and perspectives becomes evident. The seeds you planted start to grow, often when they need it most. They might hear your words in their mind when they're about to make a decision, or feel a surge of motivation inspired by something you once said. This is the true power of influence, not control, but inspiration, awakening something within them that perhaps they didn't even realize was there. In the realm of relationships, influence goes beyond words. It's in how you made others feel. People may forget specific things you said, but they'll remember how you respected them, how you showed up, and how you made them feel seen and valued. Your presence creates a ripple effect. Your kindness inspires kindness, your resilience inspires strength, and your patience teaches patience. These qualities, shared through example rather than instruction, sink deep, shaping the ways others interact with themselves and with those around them. Influence is subtle, but it runs deep, connecting with people on an emotional and often subconscious level. People often recognize influence most acutely in times of hardship or growth. When they encounter difficulties, they may find themselves looking back on your actions or advice for guidance. In these moments, they see the depth of your impact. They recognize that the wisdom you shared wasn't just superficial, it was something born from experience, strength, and genuine care. They begin to understand that your presence in their lives was not accidental or inconsequential, but an essential part of their journey, shaping them into who they are becoming. When someone has genuinely impacted us, we carry their influence forward, often without even realizing it. They become a part of our inner narrative, a voice that speaks to us long after they're gone. We take their values and perspectives with us, integrating them into our own. The people you impact in this way, though they may drift apart or move on, will continue to carry your influence, passing it down to others in ways that echo through time. This is the beauty of true influence. It's a legacy, something that lives on in the hearts and minds of those you've touched. Those who experienced your influence may come to a moment of realization. They'll see how much they've grown, how they've changed for the better, and they'll recognize your role in that transformation. Perhaps they'll look back on a past version of themselves and realize how far they've come because of the strength, courage, or wisdom they absorbed from you. In this recognition, they feel both gratitude and respect for the impact you had. It's often only in hindsight, in looking back over time, that people truly see the weight of someone's influence on their lives. Influence is a gift, a quiet legacy that each person leaves behind. It's not something you necessarily try to create or control. It's simply a byproduct of living in alignment with your values, showing up authentically and caring deeply. When you've influenced someone genuinely, it's something they feel forever. They carry pieces of you with them, consciously or unconsciously, in their words, choices, and the energy they bring into the world. So trust in the power of your influence. Know that when you live with integrity, when you're kind, patient, and honest, you're creating an impact that goes far beyond the present moment. The people around you will see it, feel it, and carry it forward, spreading it in ways you may never witness, but that ripple out endlessly. In this way, your influence becomes a part of the fabric of the world, an unseen but enduring force for good. Profound that happens in silence. When you choose to step back and withdraw your energy, you leave behind a stillness that others are often unprepared to face. This silence is powerful because in your absence, others lose the external stimulus you once provided: the guidance, support, reassurance, or distraction. What's left in that empty space is themselves, laid bare in a way they may not have encountered before. In the silence, they're compelled to confront parts of themselves they may have ignored or overlooked, forced to meet themselves in ways that are both challenging and revealing. This is where true self-reflection begins, and often it's in this silence that they start to recognize things they were previously blind to. Silence can be uncomfortable. Many people avoid it, filling their lives with noise, distraction, or the presence of others. It's easier to ignore inner conflicts, insecurities, or regrets when there is a constant hum of activity or the voices of others to mask it. Your presence may have offered them comfort or even allowed them to avoid facing certain truths about themselves. But once you step back, the noise fades away and they're left with an unfamiliar quiet that amplifies everything they've been trying to avoid. It's in this quiet that their true self is revealed, not the version they show to the world, but the person they are when no one is watching. The silence you leave behind isn't empty, it's full of potential for growth, reflection, and change. When people are forced to sit with their thoughts and feelings without the cushion of someone else's presence, they become more aware of their own needs, desires, and fears. They may begin to see where they've been projecting their own insecurities onto others, or where they've been relying too heavily on external validation instead of cultivating inner peace and self-worth. Your absence becomes a mirror, showing them things about themselves they may have been unwilling to acknowledge before. They meet parts of themselves that are raw, unrefined, and at times uncomfortable. Yet, this confrontation is essential for real personal growth. For some, the silence may lead to a realization of how much they relied on you. Perhaps they took your presence, your kindness, or your support for granted. Without you there, they start to see the gaps in their own lives, the ways in which they depended on you to feel whole or validated. They may recognize how they leaned on you to avoid dealing with their own insecurities or unresolved issues. In this silence, they are compelled to reckon with their own accountability, understanding that the emptiness they feel is not something you created but something that was always within them, merely masked by your presence. It's a humbling realization that they must look within for what they once sought from you. There is a chance for them to learn self-sufficiency. When they no longer have you to turn to, they must find ways to navigate life independently. This is where resilience grows, where they discover that they can stand on their own 2 feet. The silence you left challenges them to tap into their own inner strength, to cultivate their own peace, and to learn to rely on themselves for fulfillment and security. It's an invitation to grow, to rise to the occasion, and to step into their own power. The discomfort they initially feel may eventually transform into confidence, as they learn that they are capable of meeting their own needs and finding strength within. In some cases, the silence also serves as a reminder of their own behaviors and choices. They may start to see the consequences of actions they once justified or overlooked. And if they treated you unfairly, neglected your needs, or took you for granted, these actions now stand out starkly against the quiet you left. The silence holds them accountable, forcing them to reflect on what they might have done differently. This self-awareness, though painful, is often necessary for genuine change. It allows them to see the impact of their actions and perhaps to make amends not necessarily to you, but to themselves and others they may encounter in the future. Your absence teaches a lesson that words often cannot convey. By stepping back, you show them that you won't always be there to fill the gaps or provide a shield against self-reflection. You're giving them the space to realize that they must look inward for answers and take responsibility for their own growth. This silence may be one of the most powerful gifts you could give, because it leads them to self-discovery, growth, and a deeper understanding of who they are. Through this process, they learn that peace and fulfillment are not found in the presence of others, but within themselves. The silence you create serves as a transformative experience. It's an invitation for them to confront, understand, and embrace themselves fully. They may come out of this experience changed, more grounded, more self-aware, and perhaps even more appreciative of the value others bring to their lives. In the end, the silence becomes a teacher, showing them parts of themselves they might have avoided or denied, guiding them to a greater understanding and acceptance of who they are. And in meeting themselves in this silence, they gain the strength and wisdom to be better not only for themselves but for everyone they encounter moving forward. Stepping back and allowing silence to fill the space you once occupied becomes a profound gift, a lesson in reflection, growth, and self-discovery. In that stillness, others are compelled to meet parts of themselves they may have long ignored, realizing the strength, responsibility, and self-worth that lie within. Sometimes the greatest impact we make is felt in our absence, when others learn to stand on their own and recognize the true value of connection, respect, and presence. By leaving this space, you offer them a chance to see their own reflection, unfiltered and honest, and to evolve through it. Thank you for embracing this powerful truth. It is a reminder to honor yourself, your boundaries, and your worth, and to let others rise in the silence left behind. There are no wasted years in God's design. What appears lost, broken, or barren is but a season in the cycle of becoming. Restoration begins not in the outer world but within, when the soul aligns with the promise of divine grace. Here are the 7 signs that God is at work, mending, renewing, and readying you to receive. There is a place within you untouched by chaos, unchanged by hardship, and undisturbed by circumstance. It is a realm of peace, a presence that does not depend on external events or the shifting tides of life. When you find yourself drifting into that space, something divine is at work. This inner peace, profound and seemingly without cause, is a sure sign that God is working on your behalf. To discover peace within, regardless of outer turmoil, is to understand that what you are seeking is not in the world, but in yourself. And when this peace arises, it signals that restoration is already taking root. Imagine looking around at a world that hasn't yet caught up to the fullness of your dreams. You may see challenges, setbacks, or what appear to be dead ends. Yet in the midst of it all, there's an unshakable calmness, a quiet assurance that whispers, all is well. This peace doesn't deny reality, it transcends it. It's a gentle yet powerful reminder that your life is woven into a larger design, one that no hardship can unravel. This feeling, this calm that cannot be easily explained, tells you that what you are yearning for, what you've spent time and effort seeking, is already closer than you think. For peace is often the first manifestation of answered prayer, the first evidence that the divine is at work behind the scenes. This inner calm is not an accident. It's a shift, a movement within, where the heart no longer resists but accepts, allowing grace to flow in. No longer caught up in the mind's restlessness, you're able to sit in the present moment without constantly questioning, why this? Or what's next instead? You simply know that there's a higher wisdom at play, one that will guide you toward fulfillment in perfect timing. When God is about to restore what you thought was wasted, one of the first gifts given to you is peace, a sign that the journey has been meaningful, every step necessary, and that what you've lost is in the process of being returned. This peace isn't passive, it's transformative. In moments of calm, you start to see things as they truly are, stripped of the fear and doubt that colored your perception before. You see that the so-called wasted years were seasons of learning, times that refined your character, deepened your strength, and prepared you for the fulfillment of your dreams. In this light, nothing has been lost. Instead, everything has been leading you here. You feel gratitude for the past, not because it was always easy, but because it shaped you into someone ready to receive the fullness of life. Sometimes in the quiet moments you may feel this peace like a warm embrace. It assures you that you are not alone, that there is a presence, a love guiding you back to wholeness. This peace isn't a distraction, it's the beginning of a great healing. It is a quiet knowing that nothing is beyond redemption, and that God's restoration is already unfolding, even if you cannot yet see its full expression. In those still moments you may find yourself smiling, knowing without reason that the best is yet to come. This is not wishful thinking, it is a deep-seated certainty that you are being led by a divine hand. This renewed peace also brings a shift in how you view time, where once you may have looked back with regret or worry, you now look forward with faith. The moments spent agonizing over the past or fearing the future fall away, replaced by a calm assurance that you are precisely where you need to be. Peace frees you from the need to strive, to force things to happen. Instead, you begin to trust that what is meant for you is already on its way. You realize that the future isn't something to chase after, but something to welcome, for it holds within it the seeds of every prayer you've ever spoken, every dream you've dared to imagine. This peace, this profound stillness within, is a gift that does not waver, even when circumstances challenge you. It's an anchor that keeps you grounded, reminding you that everything happening around you is part of a larger, loving design. Even if the world seems to fall apart, this peace remains undisturbed and unbreakable, a sacred space where you and God meet. And in that space, there is a promise, a quiet understanding that your life is valuable, your journey purposeful, and that nothing given to God is ever truly lost. In the presence of this peace, you realize that the past has no power to hold you back, for each moment of pain, of doubt, has already been woven into something beautiful. You begin to understand that nothing was in vain. And when you find yourself in this peaceful state, know that God is preparing to give back, in greater measure, all that you thought was lost. The peace within you is the first sign of this restoration, the quiet before the blessings flow abundantly into your life. Hold on to it, nurture it, for it is the foundation upon which everything else will be built. And know with every fiber of your being that this peace is a preview of the life awaiting you, a life of joy, fulfillment, and grace beyond measure. There comes a moment when, despite all logical reasons to doubt, you feel an unshakable confidence rise within. It isn't something you can easily explain or justify, and it doesn't align with the challenges or limitations that might surround you. This confidence is a sign that something greater is at work. When God is preparing to restore what you thought was lost or wasted, this quiet, powerful certainty often comes first, signaling that the journey you're on is unfolding according to a higher plan. This confidence is not born from circumstances. In fact, it often shows up when things look least promising. It defies logic, appearing not because your life is problem-free, but because something within has shifted. It's a whisper from the divine, affirming that there is more to your life than what you can currently see. You're no longer grasping for security in the world around you. Instead, you're leaning on an invisible but undeniable strength. This shift marks the beginning of true restoration, when you no longer look to external events for assurance, but instead find it within. You're aligning with a deeper wisdom, one that is preparing you for what's coming. This confidence has a quietness to it. It isn't flashy or boastful, nor does it require validation from others. It's the feeling that you're enough, just as you are, and that all you need will come to you at the right time. No longer chasing or forcing, you realize that life's greatest blessings are drawn to those who are prepared to receive them. This inner knowing is a gift. It whispers that you don't need to exhaust yourself striving for what's already been promised. Instead, you can stand tall and trust that what's meant for you is inevitable. This kind of assurance allows you to release anxiety, knowing that the steps you take will unfold with purpose, each one leading you closer to the life you envision. This unexplainable confidence also reshapes how you see yourself. You begin to recognize that you're not merely a product of past decisions or missed opportunities. There's a divine purpose woven into your life that no setback or mistake can erase. You stop defining yourself by your past and start seeing yourself through the eyes of grace. The belief that you are valuable, worthy, and whole, despite any seeming loss, takes root. With this newfound certainty, you look at your dreams not as distant possibilities, but as realities that are drawing closer, step by step. This confidence fuels resilience. Challenges that once felt insurmountable now seem like temporary stepping stones. When you believe that you're held by something greater, you can face setbacks without being defeated by them. This resilience isn't about ignoring the difficulties or pretending everything is perfect, rather. It's about understanding that no hardship has the final say in your life. When difficulties arise, you face them with a sense of calm strength, knowing that you are equipped to overcome them, and that every challenge is a part of the journey towards restoration. This confidence brings clarity. In the quiet of your soul, you're able to distinguish between what is essential and what is merely distraction. You stop wasting energy on things that don't serve your highest purpose. Instead of seeking approval or validation, you trust in the guidance you receive from within, knowing that the answers are already there, if you're willing to listen. In this way, confidence aligns your steps with purpose, helping you walk a path that is uniquely yours. At times, this confidence might feel strange or surprising, especially if you're used to doubting yourself or feeling uncertain. But as you lean into it, you'll find that it's the natural expression of your soul's truth. This confidence doesn't mean that you won't face questions or moments of hesitation, but it does mean that, at a core level, you believe in the journey. You know that the process of restoration is already underway, and that what's unfolding is exactly what needs to happen to bring you to a place of wholeness and joy. This unexplainable confidence also brings freedom. Free from the need to prove yourself or seek constant reassurance, you can fully embrace who you are. You stop comparing yourself to others, recognizing that your path is divinely unique. This freedom allows you to focus on what truly matters, giving you space to nurture your dreams, deepen your faith, and grow in wisdom. It's a sense of empowerment that doesn't rely on external validation. Instead, it comes from an inner knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. In moments of stillness, you realize that this confidence is a direct result of divine assurance. God's promise of restoration is not just an idea, it's a reality that's taking shape within you. Every dream that felt delayed, every hope that seemed lost, is being woven together to create a life that reflects the fullness of who you are. And as you continue forward with this confidence, you understand that nothing has truly been wasted. Every experience has added to the strength, depth, and grace that now define you. So trust this confidence. It's a sign that you're not alone in this journey. The quiet assurance you feel is a preview of the restoration that's coming. In the face of any doubt, return to this feeling, for it's your connection to a higher truth. This confidence is the foundation upon which all else will be built, a gift that will carry you into a future where everything you once thought was lost is returned, and returned in greater measure. Let this inner strength guide you, and trust that you are already on the path to everything you desire and deserve. There comes a time when, after seasons of quiet waiting, or perhaps a series of closed doors, you begin to encounter new people and opportunities seemingly by chance. But there is no such thing as coincidence in a world where a divine design is always at work. These encounters are not random, they are signs that you are entering a new chapter, one filled with potential, purpose, and fresh experiences. Each person and opportunity arriving in your life carries a meaning, a lesson, or a pathway leading to the next stage of your journey. When God is at work restoring what once felt lost, these connections are orchestrated to reveal parts of yourself and your purpose that were waiting for the right time to emerge. These encounters often feel serendipitous, a chance meeting, a conversation that sparks new ideas, or a fresh opportunity that aligns perfectly with your needs and dreams. They are gentle nudges from the universe, showing you that your desires have not been forgotten. When you open your heart to these new connections, you allow yourself to step into a realm where things unfold effortlessly, where each encounter is a building block in the greater structure of your life. There is a natural flow, and you begin to see that this restoration, this unfolding of blessings, is happening in perfect alignment with the divine plan for your life. Meeting new people on this path often means connecting with those who mirror something back to you, a value, a belief, or even a hidden aspect of yourself. They come as reminders or messengers, revealing what you need to embrace or release. Some may challenge you to grow, pushing you to think differently or step outside your comfort zone, while others offer support, understanding, or a shared vision that rekindles your hope. Each encounter is like a stepping stone, leading you closer to the person you are meant to become. And as you let these connections unfold, you realize that each new person is part of a larger, intricate design, guiding you toward restoration and growth. Opportunities also arise, sometimes unexpectedly, showing up at just the right moment when you're ready to receive them. These opportunities are more than just options, they are answers to long-held dreams and whispers from your soul. They may come disguised as challenges or require you to make a leap of faith, yet they are always aligned with your highest good. God does not place an opportunity in front of you unless you are ready to handle it. Even if you feel uncertain or unprepared, the presence of this opportunity is a sign that you possess within you all that is needed to succeed. Trust that these moments are part of the restoration process, where the pieces of your life are coming together in ways that exceed your expectations. In opening yourself to these encounters and opportunities, you begin to let go of the old narratives, the limitations you once placed on yourself. You realize that life is not a closed loop, but a series of interconnected experiences, each one leading to the next. This realization brings freedom, allowing you to engage with others and new possibilities without fear. You no longer hold back, waiting for everything to be perfect. Instead, you step forward, understanding that the divine is guiding each step, weaving together every connection, every moment, into the beautiful tapestry of your life. Often, these encounters require you to have faith, to trust in what you cannot see. Some connections may feel fleeting or confusing, but even the briefest encounter can spark a significant transformation. Sometimes, an opportunity may not look like what you expected, yet it contains the seeds of future blessings. In these moments, you learn to trust that the path is unfolding just as it should, even if the next step is not entirely clear. As you embrace these new people and possibilities, you grow in resilience and grace, recognizing that each experience adds to the richness of your journey. These encounters are also a reminder that you are never alone. When you meet someone who resonates with your dreams or values, it's as if the universe is saying, here is someone who understands. Here is someone who can help you, or whom you can help. You begin to see yourself in the eyes of others, realizing that the same divine spark within you exists within them. This unity, this shared experience, deepens your sense of purpose and belonging. You are part of a larger story, and these encounters remind you that every person you meet is part of that story too. As you journey forward, keep an open heart. Remain receptive to the gifts that come through others and the doors that open as you least expect them. These encounters are more than mere social exchanges or career moves. They are invitations to step into the life you've been envisioning, to reclaim the years you may have felt were lost. Each encounter, each opportunity, is a testament to the restoration happening within you and around you. They are signs that the universe is listening, that God is orchestrating each meeting, each experience, to align with the purpose planted in your soul. You look back and see that none of it was random. Every person, every opportunity was divinely placed to bring you closer to your truth, to show you what's possible when you trust in the journey. As you encounter new people and embrace new opportunities, know that each moment is part of a grander plan, one that is leading you to the fulfillment of your deepest desires. With each connection, each open door, you are being restored, renewed, and brought ever closer to the life you were always meant to live. There often comes a moment on the journey to transformation when you feel a sudden, almost irresistible urge to let go of old patterns that no longer serve you. This isn't a rational decision, nor is it the result of some external pressure or situation. It arises from a deeper place within, like an awakening that something greater awaits you on the other side of these habits. This sudden urge is a gift, a message from the divine, signaling that you are ready to release the chains that once held you back and embrace the freedom that awaits. Old patterns are often created as forms of protection. They can be habits, beliefs, or reactions that once served a purpose, helping you navigate life's challenges. Yet, with time, they become barriers that restrict your growth. These patterns may include fear-based thinking, self-doubt, or the tendency to settle for less than you deserve. They may manifest in procrastination, avoidance, or even self-sabotage. At one point they felt familiar, perhaps even safe, but now they feel heavy, like burdens preventing you from stepping into your full potential. The sudden urge to release them is a sign that you are ready to transcend what once held you down. This feeling doesn't come gradually. It arrives almost as a revelation, a quiet but powerful realization that your life cannot change unless you change. You start to see that these patterns are simply reflections of your past experiences, not predictors of your future. And so this inner calling invites you to release them, to shed the outdated ideas and habits that no longer align with who you are becoming. You sense that your future requires a new foundation, one that's not built on fear or limitations, but on hope, possibility, and faith. Releasing these old patterns is not about forcing change. It's about allowing yourself to let go and trust that what lies ahead is far more aligned with your purpose. You may feel an urge to stop overthinking, to quit reliving past mistakes, or to release grudges that weigh down your heart. This letting go is an act of faith, a recognition that holding on only perpetuates the past, and that true transformation comes when you make room for new experiences, new perspectives, and new blessings. It is a cleansing, a release that invites peace into your heart, creating space for new possibilities to flourish. Letting go of old patterns requires courage because it demands that you step into the unknown. These patterns are familiar, they may have defined how you saw yourself and others for years. But as you start to release them, you begin to feel a profound sense of freedom. You are no longer tethered to who you were. Instead, you are moving toward who you are becoming. It is a process of self-liberation, a journey of discovering who you are without the limits and beliefs you once clung to. Each step of letting go brings you closer to your authentic self, to the person you were always meant to be. This release is transformative. As you let go of old patterns, you find that your mind becomes clearer, your heart lighter, and your spirit more resilient. You become open to new ideas, new ways of thinking, and new ways of being. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles, and you start to believe in your ability to create a life aligned with your highest vision. This inner shift creates an external ripple, drawing new possibilities into your life and opening doors that were previously closed. The urge to let go of old patterns is also an invitation to trust. You may not know what will replace these old ways, but you feel that something better is on the horizon. This trust is a quiet strength, a belief that the universe will guide you as you release what no longer serves you. It is a reminder that sometimes growth requires a shedding of the old, a willingness to embrace change, and a belief in the possibilities that lie ahead. This trust allows you to move forward without needing to know every step, confident that you are supported in every way. As you let go, you also make space for deeper self-compassion. You may look back and see how certain patterns were formed from a place of survival, from times when you did the best you could with what you knew. Now, however, you no longer need to cling to those ways of being. You can thank them for the role they played and release them with grace. By choosing to let go, you show yourself kindness and forgiveness, acknowledging that your journey was always leading you here, to a place of renewed freedom and potential. In this journey of release, you come to understand that letting go is not about loss. It's about allowing space for growth, healing, and new beginnings. With every pattern you release, you create room for a life that reflects your highest aspirations. You begin to feel lighter, freer, and more connected to the present moment, unburdened by the past and open to the future. This transformation is a sign that you are stepping into a new season, one that aligns with your soul's deepest desires. This sudden urge to let go is a calling from the divine, a reminder that you are ready to move forward unencumbered. Embrace it fully. Trust the process. Each moment of release brings you closer to the life you were always meant to live. As you shed these old patterns, you will find yourself aligned with a renewed sense of purpose, clarity, and peace, stepping forward into a life that truly reflects who you are and all you are capable of becoming. There comes a time when, after much searching, questioning, and perhaps even despair, you experience a profound shift, a renewed vision or clarity about your life, your purpose, and the direction in which you are headed. This vision doesn't appear as a dramatic epiphany, rather. It unfolds as a subtle yet undeniable awareness. It is a clarity that cuts through the fog of confusion, bringing a calm, knowing that you are on the right path, or that you have the courage to realign if you have wandered astray. This renewed vision serves as a guiding light, illuminating your path with a sense of purpose, focus, and direction. When clarity begins to emerge, it often feels like reconnecting with a part of yourself that had been obscured. Perhaps you've been busy with the noise of daily life, overwhelmed by distractions, or weighed down by uncertainty. In that state, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters to you, what calls to your heart, and what aligns with your deepest values. But then, this renewed clarity arrives, lifting the veil of uncertainty and allowing you to see things as they truly are. You no longer feel pulled in multiple directions by conflicting ideas and desires. Instead, there is a calmness, a focus, and a sense of purpose that grounds you, guiding each step you take. This clarity is often accompanied by a profound sense of peace. You realize that you don't need to force or rush anything. You understand that life unfolds in divine timing, and that each step forward will reveal itself as you continue to trust and align with your vision. Gone is the need for constant validation or the relentless pursuit of goals that don't truly resonate with you. This new vision feels like coming home to yourself, like finally embracing the truth that has always been within you. You feel more connected to your inner wisdom, and in that connection, you find strength, courage, and inspiration. With this renewed vision comes a deeper understanding of your purpose. You may realize that your life's purpose isn't tied to a specific title, role, or achievement, but rather to a way of being, to a deeper calling to express your unique gifts in the world. This clarity frees you from the need to conform to others' expectations or chase fleeting success. Instead, you feel compelled to create, serve, or live in a way that feels authentic to you. Each day, you find yourself aligning more closely with this purpose, and with each choice you make, you feel more empowered and fulfilled. As you embrace this renewed vision, you begin to notice that your priorities shift. What once seemed urgent or important fades away, making space for what truly matters. You let go of superficial pursuits and focus on the relationships, experiences, and goals that resonate with your soul. There is a newfound simplicity in your life, a stripping away of anything that does not support your vision. This clarity acts as a filter, allowing only those things, people, and pursuits that bring meaning and purpose to your journey. You realize that the things that are truly valuable cannot be taken away. They are the inner treasures of love, wisdom, kindness, and authenticity. This vision also infuses your actions with intention. No longer are you simply going through the motions, driven by routine or habit. Instead, each step you take is grounded in your sense of purpose. You act with integrity, knowing that every choice, no matter how small, contributes to the life you are creating. This clarity empowers you to make decisions with confidence, knowing that they align with your highest self. It frees you from the paralysis of overthinking, as you trust that your path will continue to unfold as long as you remain true to yourself and your vision. The beauty of this renewed clarity is that it connects you to something greater than yourself. You realize that your journey is part of a larger tapestry, woven together with the experiences and journeys of others. There is a deepening sense of unity and compassion, a recognition that we are all connected, each of us striving to live with purpose and meaning. This awareness brings with it a sense of responsibility, a desire to contribute to the well-being of others, and to share your gifts in ways that uplift and inspire. Your life becomes a reflection of this vision, radiating a sense of peace, love, and fulfillment. With renewed vision, you feel empowered to let go of any limitations or doubts that once held you back. The clarity that now guides you dissolves the fears and insecurities that may have once clouded your path. You begin to understand that there are no obstacles too great, no setbacks too severe to deter you from living out this vision. Challenges become opportunities for growth, moments to refine and strengthen your commitment to your purpose. You learn to trust the journey, knowing that each experience is a stepping stone, bringing you closer to the realization of your vision. In this state of clarity, life becomes a beautiful dance, a harmonious flow, where you are guided not by fear or uncertainty, but by purpose and love. Each day holds meaning, each moment a chance to live in alignment with who you truly are. And with every step you feel the presence of something divine, a quiet assurance that you are exactly where you need to be. You carry within you a sense of gratitude, knowing that this vision, this clarity, is a gift that will continue to guide, inspire, and sustain you on the journey ahead. In moments of challenge, we are often surprised by a strength to endure that seems to come from a deeper place within us, a resilience that rises just when we think we have reached our limit. This strength is not born from our outer circumstances or our physical capabilities, but from something profound and sacred that lies within. It is an inner force, a quiet yet undeniable power that allows us to persist even in the face of adversity. This strength is a gift, one that emerges not because life has been easy, but because we are capable of finding peace and resolve even in difficulty. Endurance is not simply about surviving, it's about embracing the journey, no matter how rough or uncertain it may feel. Often we may find ourselves wondering why certain trials have come our way. But these experiences, though challenging, have a purpose. They strengthen us, sharpen our resolve, and deepen our understanding of who we are. When we embrace this strength to endure, we find that challenges transform into stepping stones, each one bringing us closer to the person we are meant to become. Each difficulty becomes an opportunity for growth, a chance to learn and rise above, proving to ourselves that we are far more resilient than we ever imagined. This inner strength to endure does not come from resisting life's challenges, but from accepting them. Resilience is not a forceful act of defiance, but a state of quiet acceptance that allows us to navigate hardships with grace. Instead of asking, "Why me?" we learn to ask, "What can I learn from this?" In doing so, we shift from seeing life as something happening to us to something happening for us. This shift opens our hearts to greater wisdom and courage. We begin to see that each trial carries with it a lesson, and by enduring it, we grow stronger and more capable of facing what lies ahead. The beauty of endurance lies in its quiet power. It doesn't need validation or applause. It is sustained by a deep inner knowing that whatever challenges we face, they are temporary, and that we are strong enough to withstand them. This strength is like a river that runs deep, sometimes unseen, but always there, flowing steadily, carrying us through even the darkest of times. In moments when we feel overwhelmed, it reminds us to take things one step at a time, to keep moving forward, no matter how slow or small each step may feel. Endurance teaches us the art of patience, showing us that even the longest night will eventually give way to dawn. Through endurance, we learn the power of perspective. It shifts our focus from the immediate discomfort to the long-term growth that the experience offers. When we face challenges, it is easy to get lost in the pain, the frustration, or the desire to escape. But endurance invites us to step back, to see the bigger picture, to trust that there is a purpose beyond our immediate understanding. This strength helps us look beyond our present struggles and believe in the promise of a brighter future. We come to understand that enduring hardship is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to our courage and resilience. In moments of endurance, we often uncover a deeper connection to the divine, to the source of all strength and love. There is a sense that we are not enduring alone, that we are held, supported, and guided. This connection provides comfort and reassurance, reminding us that we are part of something much greater than ourselves. It is in these moments of surrender, when we let go of our need to control or understand, that we feel this divine support most strongly. We realize that endurance is not about bearing the weight alone, but about trusting that we are always carried, even when we cannot see the path ahead. This strength to endure also brings with it compassion, both for ourselves and for others. As we navigate our own struggles, we become more understanding of others' journeys. We recognize that everyone is carrying their own burdens, facing their own challenges, and that each person's path is unique. This compassion softens our hearts, allowing us to extend kindness and empathy to those around us. We realize that enduring hardship doesn't just make us stronger, it makes us more human, more connected, and more attuned to the struggles of others. Endurance transforms us, molding us into wiser, stronger, and more compassionate beings. We come to understand that life is not always easy, but it is always meaningful. Each challenge is an invitation to grow, each hardship an opportunity to discover new depths of strength within us. With each experience, we shed layers of fear and doubt, stepping more fully into our authentic selves. We realize that our strength is not defined by the absence of hardship, but by our ability to face it with courage, resilience, and faith. The strength to endure is a gift that reminds us of our infinite capacity to persevere, to grow, and to transcend. It allows us to face each day with hope, knowing that whatever challenges we encounter, we are equipped to overcome them. This strength becomes a foundation upon which we build our lives, one that cannot be shaken by circumstances or external forces. It is the quiet, unbreakable force that carries us forward, guiding us through life's storms and leading us to a place of greater peace, understanding, and fulfillment. There are moments in life that defy explanation, moments when you feel a quiet certainty deep within, a sensation that doesn't stem from logical reasoning, but from an undeniable sense of knowing. These moments of inner knowing are profoundly personal. They are as subtle as a whisper, yet as powerful as a profound truth, guiding you in a way that external facts or opinions cannot. In such moments, you feel connected to something larger than yourself. A sense of wisdom that feels ancient and familiar, as though it has always been there, waiting for you to listen. This inner knowing isn't about the mind's logic or reasoning, it is the soul's voice, speaking in a language only you can understand. When inner knowing arises, it often comes without fanfare or noise. It is a quiet, calm sensation, a certainty that settles in your heart. Unlike thoughts that come and go, this knowing feels steady, immovable. It doesn't need validation, it doesn't demand proof, and it doesn't require approval from anyone else. It is simply there, unwavering and sure. Often it appears in situations where your mind feels confused or uncertain, when you find yourself at a crossroads or faced with a difficult decision. At that moment, inner knowing arises, offering clarity amidst confusion, a sense of direction in what may seem like chaos. What makes this inner knowing so special is that it feels like the truest part of yourself speaking to you. It doesn't compete with the endless stream of thoughts or external voices. It is a gentle assurance, a feeling that what you know in that moment is aligned with your deepest truth. Inner knowing brings with it a sense of peace, of being at home within yourself. In a world that often values external validation and tangible proof, this inner knowing is a rare and sacred experience. It reminds you that some truths are felt rather than seen, that some answers are discovered within rather than sought in the world outside. These moments of knowing are not always predictable or easy to grasp. Often they emerge in the quiet spaces when you are alone with your thoughts, or perhaps when you least expect them. They arrive not because you are desperately seeking answers, but because you have surrendered, allowing yourself to listen without judgment or expectation. In this state of openness, you become receptive to the wisdom that lies within. It is a reminder that answers do not always come through striving or searching, but through allowing, being, and trusting in the process. Inner knowing often defies conventional logic, which can make it challenging to trust at first. You may wonder if what you feel is real or if it is simply wishful thinking. But this knowing has a different quality. It doesn't feel like a fleeting idea or a hopeful thought. It has weight, depth, and a calm certainty that feels different from mere thoughts or emotions. This knowing is not swayed by fears or doubts. It remains steady, a quiet affirmation that what you sense is true. When you trust this inner guidance, you open yourself to a deeper flow of life, allowing yourself to be led by an intelligence that transcends the mind. Listening to this inner knowing requires courage. Often it may ask you to step outside of your comfort zone, to let go of plans, or to make decisions that others may not understand. But as you learn to trust this voice, you realize that it is guiding you toward your highest good, even if the path doesn't seem clear at first. With time, you begin to see that following your inner knowing brings you into alignment with opportunities, relationships, and experiences that resonate with your true self. It is a journey of faith, one that teaches you to rely on your own intuition rather than the shifting opinions of the world. Moments of inner knowing deepen your connection to yourself. Each time you listen and honor this guidance, you strengthen your relationship with your inner self, building a foundation of trust and authenticity. You come to understand that your inner knowing is a reflection of your soul's wisdom, a voice that is attuned to what is best for you in ways that the mind cannot grasp. It guides you toward choices that honor your values, that align with your purpose, and that bring you closer to a life that feels true to who you are. There is a profound sense of freedom in embracing this inner knowing. You no longer feel bound by the need for approval or the fear of judgment. You trust that the wisdom within you is enough, that it is reliable, and that it will guide you to where you need to be. You realize that life's answers are not always found in books or external sources. Sometimes the greatest insights come from within. This inner knowing empowers you to live with confidence, to walk your path with conviction, and to make choices that reflect the deepest parts of your being. In these moments of knowing, you touch upon a truth that is timeless, a sense of clarity that transcends any single moment or experience. You see yourself not just as a person navigating life, but as a soul on a journey, connected to a larger intelligence that gently guides you every step of the way. These moments are gifts, reminders that you are not alone, that there is a wisdom within you that is always available, always guiding, and always waiting for you to listen. They are whispers of truth, calling you back to your authentic self. And when you honor them, you find a peace and fulfillment that no external achievement can ever replicate. In conclusion, the signs that God is about to restore your wasted year are not always loud or dramatic. They are often subtle, unfolding in moments of inner peace, unexpected confidence, and a clarity that gently guides you. These signs remind you that no time is ever truly wasted if you choose to grow, trust, and embrace the process. The strength to endure, the shift in perspective, and the courage to let go all come together, offering you a renewed vision for the future. By tuning into these signs, you align yourself with divine timing and open yourself to the blessings that await you. Thank you for taking the time to listen and reflect. Trust that every challenge you've faced and every moment you've lived has led you to this point. And as you move forward, you carry with you the power to create a brighter, more fulfilling future. The restoration has already begun within you. Keep believing, keep trusting, and remember that the best is yet to come. Thank you.